Hello, in today's video we got a 2009 Honda Civic with a no crank, no start. Meaning when you turn the key, the engine does not rotate. This problem started months ago, cranking slow in colder weather, and now it completely went out. I'm pretty certain based on the things that have happened with this car, that we got a bad starter. But there are things we always want to check to be sure. And the first thing we want to start with is the battery. And a good simple test is to turn on the headlights, and you want to look for a bright, steady headlight. On this Pontiac G8, it had a similar problem, where it started rapid clicking, and then a single click, and finally no noise when you turn the key. But this battery ended up being really low, and you can see that these lights were flickering, so if you see something similar, you may have a drained battery. This is our battery, and what we're looking for is any type of corrosion which may cause a bad connection, or you also want to try to rotate your terminals to make sure that they are not loose. Symptoms of a low battery or bad connection include a rapid clicking noise, or a louder single click, meaning that your starter is not getting enough amperage to spin your engine. So if you have access to a voltmeter, you'll want to set it to 20 volts, and you'll want to connect the terminals of the voltmeter to the matching colors, red to positive and black to negative. A well-charged battery will fall at or near 12.6 volts. If your battery is below 12 volts, it should be charged before going further. If you do notice any type of corrosion, like on the Chevy Impala battery, you'll want to clean it before proceeding further. I use this battery brush. It works really well to clean the battery connections with one end, and if you open it, you can clean the terminals with the wire brush. You'll want to use safety glasses, gloves, and a dust mask when doing this. Once you got the connections cleaned, you'll want to tighten them and make sure that they don't move around. Another possible problem could be that your battery is showing a good charge, but your cranking amps are low. For this, you'll want to test your battery, or have it tested at a local auto parts store. As with other situations, a battery with low cranking amps will cause slow, weak cranking, more so in cold weather, give you rapid clicking, or one loud single click. So this is a very important step. This battery tester performs a series of load tests which mimics how the battery performs with accessories, headlights, or other components being used. And when it's done, it'll give us the amps that the battery puts out after these tests are performed. And as long as the cranking amps are at or near the cranking amps on the battery, then that will eliminate the battery as a possible problem. And as you can see, this battery tests good. I did this test recently on a Chevy Malibu that wouldn't start in colder weather, and this is what it sounded like. And when I tested the battery had 0 cold cranking amps, but in warmer weather it would have barely enough to start it. Another possible reason that your car may not crank could be your vehicle's Immobilizer chip, which is that green icon on your dash. If this light is flashing or stays on, it means that your vehicle has detected a problem with the chip inside your key. So if that were to happen and you have a spare key, you may want to try that. One test you can do if your vehicle has access to removing the starter crank signal wire, you can attach a voltmeter to this connection, and if you have 12 volts when you turn the key to the crank position, and the rest checks out fine, you can be quite sure that it's the starter. On some starters, you can access the terminals like on this engine. I can hook up a starter switch and can make it start or crank by getting 12 volts from this red cable and connecting it to the crank signal terminal directly. If you were to do all the previous steps and the vehicle were not to crank when doing this, it would confirm that the starter is bad. In some cases, tapping on the starter housing with a hammer or something with a little heft to it may help your starter engage if you're ever stranded somewhere and want to avoid a tow. But on this Honda, it's quite difficult to do this because of the location. But it did work after a couple taps on the starter housing. Hope you guys found this video helpful and informative. If you did, please hit that like button. It helps support my video and channel. And for more helpful content, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell.